So the Hill is reporting the Defense Department is starting to see an exodus of employees under President Donald Trump. It's been revealed that the Defense Department's senior advisor, according to the Hill, for international cooperation had left the Pentagon earlier this week, marking the fifth top official in 7 days to either leave or announce their departure. So, look, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that they're fleeing the ship. So now, this latest one is Ambassador Tina Kaidenau, who was a long-time State Department official who had begun working in her Pentagon role since September of 2018. So they're only for about 2 years. So now she resigned on December 16th, the Pentagon confirmed. Now, Kaidenau's resignation follows 4 other announced departures within a week. Those would include the December 12th notification of top Asia policy official Randa Shriver, the December 13th announcement that top official in charge of personnel and readiness, Jimmy Stewart, had resigned after taking the role in October 2018. You also had Defense Advanced Research Project Agency leader Stephen Walker that will leave this month. And then earlier Wednesday, we find out that Principal Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence, Carrie Bingen, had submitted her resignation also early in December and will leave in January. So now that's a lot of people earlier in December. So this was before the killing of Soleimani. So let's be fair about that, right? Now, Kaidenau had worked under the Pentagon's Acquisition and Sustainment Office, focusing on, quote, the development and implementation of international cooperative programs to bring cooperation with U.S. allies on research, development, production, and support of weapon systems and related equipment. So basically, she sold weapons to other countries. Let's be honest about that. Okay, so now she had also served as an ambassador at large and coordinator for counterterrorism, the deputy ambassador at the U.S. Embassy in Kabul, that's Afghanistan, and the first U.S. ambassador to Kosovo. So she had quite a history at the Department of Defense. So why leave now? Look, to me, it seems pretty clear, and I could be wrong, but it's Donald Trump's foreign policy, 100%. So look, he's alienated a lot of his allies, including the Iraqis, the Kurds. The Iraqis are, of course, the latest, but the Kurds, pulling our military forces out of that area, has made a lot of people in the Department of Defense pretty angry. It's also made a lot of the troops angry because they worked side by side with the Kurds, and we just let them get slaughtered by the Turks. But it's not just that. Of course, you also have the French, you have the Germans. You have a lot of people, a lot of allies that we have alienated. So, look, in those conditions, it might not be the best thing to be able to sell weapons to our allies, right? Especially, look, here's the thing, too. Selling less weapons is actually kind of a good thing. And so that's one of the great side effects of this is that, we're selling less weapons to our allies. However, the bad effect of that is that we're selling weapons to, or might start selling weapons to regimes that are not so good. For example, more weapons to Saudi Arabia. Yes, I know they're considered our ally, but we've actually strengthened that relationship. Not only that, but we strengthened relationships with regimes like, for example, in Brazil under Jair Bolsonaro. So we're going to start selling them weapons? Maybe we already are. I don't know. Or how about Rodrigo Duterte? Selling them weapons. That's also not a good thing. And so, look, that's a little bit of a problem. And again, the whole thing of us being the biggest, world's biggest arms dealer, not great. But I would rather have stopped the entire program instead of shifted over to people that shouldn't have weapons in the first place. But look, that's a part of it, right? So now, what's going on here is that, and why a lot of these people are leaving, is because Donald Trump does not listen to his staff. He does not listen to anybody unless they're on Fox News, which is, of course, these people are paid to put out pro-Trump propaganda on Fox News. He doesn't listen to his advisors, so a lot of them have quit. and all the seeming adults in the room are gone. He's completely unsupervised, which is probably the worst thing that you can imagine when it comes to Donald Trump. So those of whom who had already planned to leave this administration, look, now after the stuff with Soleimani, especially since Trump was basically unsupervised, now they're like, we got to get the hell out of here. Look, we're not going to be involved in this, especially when he's out there talking about how he wants to do war crimes. Look, he's already said we're going to target civilians with our drone program. We're going to massively expand Obama's drone program, which was an expansion of the George W. Bush drone program. And a lot of the power that Trump now wields is thanks to the Obama administration and their expansion. And so you can thank the Obama administration, you can thank the Democrats for that. But Donald Trump has taken all that power and he's using it to terrible effect. And again, civilian deaths in Yemen, civilian deaths in Syria, and all the different places that we have deployed weaponry, that we have deployed drones, well, they have seen a gigantic increase in civilian casualties because we are doing literal war crimes. And not only that, Trump has said, hey, let's target Iranian cultural heritage sites. That's a war crime. And then let's leave our troops. By the way, our troops didn't leave Syria. They got repositioned, reshuffled. Instead of fighting ISIS with the Kurds, they instead got sent to defend oil refineries, essentially, oil fields. And then Trump has said, well, let's take the oil. War crimes. And so, look, the administration has done, in past administrations, done a lot of things. Our foreign policy for quite some time has been absolutely abysmal. But this is worse. And so a lot of these officials, which put up with a lot of other things, or had even been part of a lot of things that could be considered war crimes in the past, are like, okay, this is the limit. This is the line. We cannot be involved in this kind of administration. So we're going to get ourselves in major trouble if we stay. So gone. So this is what's been happening, by the way, not just in the Defense Department, but all of the government. You have people that have been leaving. You even have Republicans in Congress that have been leaving. And in many cases, a lot of them are not being replaced, or their replacements happen to be worse. Because there are not a lot of qualified people who are dumb enough to take a job under Donald Trump, especially when Donald Trump continues to try to make people do illegal things. And that's something he's been doing for quite a while. So, and if he wins a second term, I really worry, because then the gloves will be completely off. It's only going to get even worse as only super unqualified ass kissers get put in these positions. Or Trump leaves them unfilled because, they're not that important. Either way, it's not really good if you care about having a functional government in order to try to put a check on Donald Trump in the first place. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.